Pro. So roll, never fold. So roll, never fold. So roll, never fold.
Raise it up. Raise it up. Chat Pro.
Hello and welcome to the Hustler Casino Live pregame show. I'm RaverPoker and I'm here with DQ. Welcome, DQ.
Welcome.
You have your shades on and it made me realize that I don't have mine on and I feel naked on the HCL stage without my glasses on.
I put them on because you always have
it's so
them on.
bright. I went to the bathroom and I just kind of forgot. The lights are really bright up here.
Very bright.
Yeah.
Even at the New Year's Eve party, midnight, you still had your glasses on. So
I did not.
Like, yeah, you did. So I was like, oh, okay.
What?
Raver's interviewing me. Got to put the shades on.
This is lies. You're like, he's lying.
I am pretty sure.
I was not wearing my sunglasses at my boss's house on midnight of New Year's Eve.
I don't even think. Do you sleep with them? I bet you do. You sleep with them on, don't you?
Oh my God!
So that when you wake up,
it's gonna be this kind of interview. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. Don't listen to him. He does. He goes to sleep just like this.
Oh, stop. Anyways, it's so nice to have you on the show. I consider you to be the godfather of Max Payne.
Probably.
Yeah. Tell me about the genesis of Max Payne.
Actually started years ago playing in all the home games and stuff. And when you're playing the home games, people just started wanting to run it twice. And I'm like, nah, fuck you. You know, I put my money in, you put your money in, we're only going to run it one time. I want to see Max Payne. And that's literally how it started probably 5-6 years ago. And then after COVID, when the live stream started happening around the country, before you guys had taken off, I was watching some of the live streams. And in one night, I saw 7 times people ran it twice and they chopped every time. So then I learned what super chats were and I got on and I said, this is bullshit. You need to run it one time. We want to see Max Payne only. And then I started becoming the super chat king and I started literally super chatting tens of thousands of dollars, letting everybody know if you're going to play on the live stream, run it one time. We're all sitting there watching.
Okay, I'm going to put an over-under on how much money you've spent lifetime super chatting.
Oh my gosh, I have a very good idea of what that is.
All right, I put the over-under around 20,000?
Not even close.
Too low?
Oh yeah, not even close. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. You know what the craziest part is? That the person you're super chatting to only gets 60% of that money.
It doesn't matter. The point is that the guys that were doing it, they get paid. When I first started super chatting here, like they didn't even know. They were like, okay, well it goes over here. So I talked to Ryan and Nick and I said, hey, listen, I'll keep super chatting. I'd really love for it to go to the crew. And they go, okay, no problem. But around the country, whether I do it at any one of those other places, I do it knowing that it goes at least a good portion directly to the commentators. And I think that you guys work so hard behind the scenes on there that I wanted to pay. But the number sadly is north of 50.
North of 50. That would be a fair over-under. You wouldn't know what to pick if I said 51.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So I'm a super chat.
That's a lot, too. But really, you're giving. That means you've given at least 20,000 directly to YouTube.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're cool with that.
I have no problem.
Yeah, they're a small business. It's cool.
Yeah, you know.
They need
startups. You got to help startups too. Right. So then then I started getting emails on Instagram and DMs, and people were like, dude, they're stealing your name on The Hustler, the whole show. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I started watching it, and I was like, oh, cool, they called it Max Payne Monday. So that's when I started chatting in, and you were commentating, and I'm like, hey, I'm DQ. I'm the originator of Max Payne. And you were like, we need to have you on the show. And then I found out who the people were that suggested Max Payne, and I realized they've been following for a while.
Monkey.
It was Snow Monkey.
Of all people.
Snow Monkey, and I think Jimmy.
Snow Monkey.
Snow Monkey, Jimmy Bluffett, I think.
Why did it have to be Snow Monkey? No, I went back and looked at the chat logs for the day when, basically at that point, we had decided, and this is a day in Max Payne Monday history. One day there will be history books written about this. But we had decided at that point we wanted a show where you could only run it once. That was the core concept. We can only run it once. We'll make it the one show you can only run it once. And I asked chat for some suggestions and had chat vote on the name.
Yep.
And so I liked that one. So he said Max. I chose that as one of the category or one of the choices. But there were 3 other choices, and then chat voted overwhelmingly for Max Payne Monday. If anyone can remember what the other choices were,
Ooh, that's
I
a
think
good
I
one.
remember one was Manic Mondays, which
pretty
I
good.
kind of liked, but then I remembered
Bengals.
there's some old rock
The Bengals.
song. Yeah.
It's another Manic Monday. Holy shit, showing my age right there.
Yeah. I would have never pulled that one out. Like I was, yeah. But so, anyways, but Max Payne Monday won like 60-70% of the vote. So the people spoke.
And I thank everybody. That's good, because I imagine a lot of people that voted probably saw me play on some of those other streams and go, you know, we need to get this donkey at the Hustler. And it worked.
Yeah, and probably at least a decent amount of them just didn't know, as we didn't know. You know, we had no idea.
No, that's true.
Yeah, it just sounded cool. And then, so then we make Max Payne Monday. We get you over here, and within the first few times of you being on this show, you were involved in the most infamous hand in the history of Max Payne Monday.
Oh, man. That what we're talking about today?
I think we might.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a memory like a goldfish. One of the best things is that because I don't do this for a living, I can't remember hands. I don't remember what I played here, there. I don't remember what other people
That's fine.
played.
That's fine.
But
Ryan?
this one?
Oh,
yeah.
you remember this one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Let's just refresh your memory.
I can't remember the hand specific. I know exactly what the fuck
Right,
happened.
because the key concept in this hand, and we're going to play it in a second, so we'll refresh your memory.
This is great.
Is that DGAF, being the slow-rolling savant that he is, recognized in real time that you thought he only had a flush draw, right?
That is correct.
Right. He also had a gutter to a straight, which hit, so it was a very hidden straight.
Very hidden.
And so he flipped over his cards knowing that you would glance and see it as a missed flush draw.
That is correct.
Right. So he shows his cards as a missed flush draw. You start celebrating, and then wait, you do have anyways, let's let the clip speak for itself. Ryan, play the clip.
Yes, you should get that one.
You get it?
Seriously. Oh, did you see that call? Just straight call. Just like looked you right in the
check dark.
face.
Chicken in the dark.
That's what I do. I check first.
Oh, wow. DGF got there in the sneaky way.
All in.
Oh, wow.
You can eat. All you can eat.
And if this doesn't make
I gotta
sense
go
to
back to my
DQ,
side.
yeah, he needs to go back to his own seat. You need to change your perspective.
I only put him on a flush draw, too. I was doing all the antics, everything. He's got me covered, doesn't he? Getting up out of my seat, looking from his perspective.
Yeah.
Goes all in. I can only put him on a flush draw.
You call?
I call.
He was. But he binked. And he forgot.
You were right.
Oh, you did miss and hit the straight. Oh,
my God, I didn't even see that.
I don't even think it was
my
him that called the
God.
straight. It was somebody else that goes, you have a straight.
I didn't even know I had a straight.
And then listen to that bullshit. That's what makes
Oh my
DGF.
God.
Wow.
That's what makes him the best.
Good thing I turned it over.
Unbelievable. The fact that he actually
Wow.
tried.
Good thing I
I
turned it
think
over.
fake that he didn't know he had it, and he's like, oh,
I had a.
oh my God.
Good thing I turned that
I tried
over.
to pride myself
You
on
didn't know
never
though,
going on
Billy.
tilt.
You really didn't know, did you?
That proved it wrong.
No, he knew.
Yeah, I swear to God, I had him on the flush draw the whole way.
All right, this is 63.
Wrecked. DQ got wrecked. F's in the chat for DQ.
Yeah, sure you didn't know.
F's in the chat for DQ. DQ. This is Max Payne.
Or you just fuck with me.
One of the two.
I don't think you knew you had the straight.
I didn't. I
I think that you were betting on the flush. Right.
Air magic.
However, I was right. You were on the flush draw the whole way. I had the right read. I just.
Air magic. Just keep it.
He just next level slow rolled. Acted like he didn't know what he had.
You can't make changes.
Was that? I don't know. Well, he had the thing.
Flipped it over, knowing DQ would think that, oh, it's just a flush.
Man, I fought so hard just to get even.
And he got him.
I had it
Wow.
right perfectly.
Yes.
I just couldn't.
Slow roll of the year on Max Payne Monday, 100%. He even got me. I was about to berate him. What an idiot. Forgot to slow roll. No. He knew. Wow. And that DQ still doesn't understand what happened. I don't think DQ understands
Thank you very much.
how hard
I thought I was bluffing,
DJAF
but-
just wrecked his shit. Wow.
Did you understand?
No, fuck
Yeah.
no, I didn't understand.
Because I mean, we
It
could
took a
show-
while. I finally
we could
figured it out before the show ended. Of course I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was sitting there going, oh yeah, I had the right read. You had a missed flush draw.
Okay, that was a little bit of a trap because I was about to bring up the fact that you asked me after the show.
Yes.
I was saying,
was like, No.
You had to confirm.
No, I am not a dishonest player.
Yeah, right. And do you think so? You are a very honest person, and do you think sometimes somebody like DJF, who is such a, he's a whatever he is,
Yes.
that you just. It's an archetype that is so foreign to you that it didn't make sense that he could be lying there. Was that the
Correct.
problem there? That
Yes.
you just you
Yes.
couldn't?
Well, because also I had what I thought was a laser read on the flush draw.
Right.
So when he flipped it over and I didn't see it, I'm like, oh yeah, of course I got it right. I'm the best. Fuck no, he just.
And in your defense, we don't have the clips. Maybe next time you're on the show, we will bring the clips. But you have exacted your revenge.
Oh yes,
To be clear.
I have, and Billy knows it too.
Yeah. I imagine there's some kind of, or when you went home, there's some kind of like little monument of DJF.
I would honestly love to tell you that it was, but
Yeah.
in all honesty, when I got on the plane and left, I never thought about it again.
The goldfish memory.
I did. I don't ever go back and watch the streams. I don't watch what happens.
Why not?
Because I don't want to see what the chat has. I realize that when I'm playing, I'm not playing real poker here. The real poker happens after the stream.
Right.
I play for entertainment.
that's
So
true.
when I call blind, I do things, I do my antics, I
Yeah.
get up.
I
all
will
for
say this,
entertainment.
so it's not every time that you stay and play on the show or after the show, but there have been some times where you have been the last one to leave.
Yep.
Which on Max Payne Monday is
really
the
hard.
most honorable thing to do.
Yes, it's really
You
hard
essentially
to
have
do
to
that person.
outlast DJ.
You got to outlast him, and that's almost impossible.
And because if you're trying to leave, he does the peer pressuring.
Yes,
no,
he does.
You're the, come on.
Where are you going? You've already got this money. You can't go anywhere. If you're the
He's the
last
best.
person to leave, somebody else got wrecked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. And you're staying.
And if you win early on and you try to leave, shame. What are you doing?
Bro, there's nothing more shameful than winning and trying to leave with your money.
Exactly.
Really, the audacity of these people to think they can leave with their money after playing for 5 or 6 hours.
Oh, absolutely. What kind of a hit and run specialist are you? I've been playing for 10 hours. That's it? 10 hours? Take it out of all. Get back in there.
Come on, get this guy drugged up. Yeah.
Yeah, that was by far, that was one of 2 slow rolls that I've really ever had, like that really got me. But that one was probably by far the worst ever. And give credit to Billy. I'm so glad I'm immortalized as Billy's best slow roll ever.
Well, and okay, be honest that I know how these things can be, where there have been moments where I experienced embarrassment on air, and you don't think it's gonna bother you, but sometimes it does.
Absolutely.
No, it really does, and
Agreed.
it can be very hurtful, and
Which is why I don't go back and watch it.
I totally understand that. That actually makes a lot of sense to me. But sometimes Billy and I have had some pretty deep conversations about, because honestly, having never been in the public eye really before myself, I was always a behind the scenes guy. And suddenly there's these people saying, like, I don't know, just hateful things. Like the commentator, blah, 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 this. And it's just a random person, but I know how it can affect you, and I hope it didn't hurt too bad.
No, it hurt at that time.
I'm sure
that
it
was
did,
for
though.
sure.
I'm sure
and,
it
you know,
did.
What's nice is that I got a lot of people on Instagram. Thank you for those of you who follow me and reached out, who said a lot of
Where can
negative
they
things.
follow you, by the way?
At DQ James T on Instagram.
Okay.
I don't know how to do the other formats. And people were sending me a bunch of negative stuff, and I responded to 100% of them. And I said, you're right, I played horrible, I didn't see this. And I got a lot of respect for owning up to it and not trying to act like it didn't bother me.
That's
or act
interesting.
Like I got
Maybe that's a good tactic. Maybe that's better than my, like, F you, you suck, you idiot.
Yeah,
Like, that
why?
doesn't...
Like, everybody can see it. It's there. You guys still have the clip. Don't you guys archive this shit and delete it or something?
Yeah, well, the live chat we get rid of for that reason, because sometimes on review it turns out to be more toxic. It hurts people's feelings.
I'd just like you to delete that clip. That'd be great.
Okay, this will be the last time we show this on air.
Sure,
I can
sure.
promise you
I'm
that.
sure I'll see it
You
again
know,
next
but
time I'll be
You
here.
know what though? It's like it's post-traumatic, like stress kind of, right? Did I
gosh,
just kind of it came back a little bit? You think?
It's really funny. There's very few hands I ever remember. I'll never forget that.
That's interesting.
I've been playing poker for almost 30 years, and that one is permanently. He's living rent-free in my head for the rest of his life.
But in the defense of that action, if that had happened in a dark basement of some random poker hall or something, it wouldn't be the same.
No.
It's because of what it is.
Yes.
Speaking of goldfish, the goldfish bowl that everyone's looking in and they're peering in on you, that's what it is. And I understand that. That's,
you can.
It's hardcore.
It is. And that's the point of it, which is why I heard you say earlier that we have Mike the Mattisau coming on tonight.
Yeah.
And while Mike can take all the ribbing and needling or whatever else, I know I've heard him say he's never slow rolled anybody. And it's probably going to be a game tonight to see who can be the first one to slow roll him.
Yeah, I agree. I find that impossible to believe. I'm going to be talking with him next, but in my little pre-interview talking with him, that's what he told me, that he has never slow-rolled anyone in his life playing multiple tens of thousands of hours of poker.
It almost seems impossible. Almost seems impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't buy it. But he's going to get it tonight. I don't know who it's going to be. It's probably going to be Sashimi. She's probably going to be the first one to try. That'd be my guess. So if we were having betting odds, me, Sashimi, Billy, or whatever else, my money would be on Sashimi.
She's the favorite.
She's the favorite to slow roll him because he's expecting it from me and Billy.
Yeah, but
he's not expecting it from
the
her.
little Asian cute girl, because he doesn't know.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, him or her or Sia.
Yeah.
Oh, Sia, you would never.
Right.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah, Sia
it's
just
a
comes
wolf
on
in
Rex
sheep's
Lives anyways.
clothing.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's talk about the chair. Okay. Tell me what I need to tell me about. We talked about the genesis of Max Payne. Tell us the story of the genesis of the chair, if you're cool with it.
Yep, sure, no problem. So, unfortunately, many years ago, in 2008, I won a type of lottery. It's the lottery that says if you're a male under the age of 40, the odds of you having colon cancer are over 1 in 4 million. I took one for the team. I had colon cancer, and I had to go
That's
through all
good.
kinds
That's
of stuff.
3,999,990 people that don't have to have it because of you. That's
Absolutely.
Great. Yeah.
So after the procedures and stuff, I really started to hurt bad in my back, my lower. So when I'd play all the home games, I would literally bring a pillow to every game, just like you sleep on. And every single game, everybody knew it, had my own pillow. I needed to have it. 3 years later, got it again. 3 years later, again. And so I'm like, man, now it's been since 2014. But I was just always having to have the pillow. When COVID came, I discovered card houses. I didn't even know what card houses were before COVID. And so I would go play, and they had the worst chairs possible. So I'd bring my pillow into the damn card houses, and people would literally just mock me. Check out this guy. He's going to come sleep at the place, blah, blah, blah. They didn't know who I was. The local people who played in home games, they all knew me, and no one would ever make fun of me. And so I had it. Well, I started running one of the biggest games in San Antonio at the card houses, and the owners asked if there was anything they could do for me. And I said, yes, I need a more comfortable chair. Could I get my own chair? And they go, sure, we'll help you get it. And that's how this came
And
along.
then other card houses followed suit.
Well, at first, when I started playing at the other card houses and I played on the streams, I loaded this damn thing up in the truck. I drove it to the card houses and everything else, and I started playing. And then I told them, look, I'm not going to keep doing this. And they said, we'll get you a chair. And then when I came out to Hustler and I talked to Ryan, got a chair out over here, and TCH got a chair out over there, et cetera, et cetera.
So to be clear, you do not fly on airplanes with your chair.
So only the first time. The first time I had to get an agreement with Southwest Airlines to go into the front row. They removed the front seat, and then I took this and I put, no, I didn't do that.
I find this so funny. Let's clear up. He told me this when we talked before the show, that people come up to him and ask about, because I made a joke about this like 6 months ago on the show. I said, oh, you know, DK, they have to make a special seat for him. He goes on the airplane with his chair and flies here. It was just an offhand comment, but a lot of people took it seriously. So I just wanted to debunk that for you.
To this day, literally every month, when I go play someplace, they ask me, am I flying my chair out? I've had people ask me, what kind of special permission do you have to get? How far in advance does the crew have to go in there to take out the other seat? And I let it go the whole time. I mean, if they're gonna be a little naive, then I'm gonna run with that story. But no, I have chairs at all the different places that I play.
Yeah, including Hustler.
Now, granted, I will say you have the most comfortable chairs of
these are
any card house
unusual.
out there. However, this has kind of became a thing for me, so I have to have my own chair here.
Yeah, I mean, the chairs are in a way, kind of the weapon, the instrument of a poker player, right? And having a comfortable chair
makes all the difference in the world.
It makes all the difference. It's not that it makes all the, it's that being uncomfortable makes all the difference.
Yes.
Right? If you've ever been uncomfortable at a poker table, it's really hard to get in the zone.
Right.
You can't just, right? You're always adjusting, my back hurts, this is terrible.
Plus, I love it. Whenever I go play and people don't know me and they see the chair, like the first thing they do is they laugh, they mock me. I'm like, just wait, you'll find out. You know, because it's here for me. But the reality is, while they're mocking and laughing, it's because I've had cancer a few times and I've been fortunate enough to beat it.
Yeah, it is interesting that the chair comes from such hardcore circumstances, right?
I mean, look, it is what it is. And even though I've been fortunate enough to be cancer-free, I do a lot of charity work for cancer or anything to do with kids. But, you know, if you actually understood how painful it was at times, then you would find it less humorous. But now, it's just part of the show. It's part of the character. So it doesn't matter if it's D-Gap who's sitting there and making fun of my chair and asking him how he is, or the sexual relationship
Right, because that's not a part of the narrative to them.
No, not at all, you know. But I mean, you know, look, he catches me one time in the back, and I'm like, fucking my chair, and now he tells everybody about it. So now it's all out there. I got a special relationship with this chair, and I got to have him with me.
All right, anything else that you want to mention before the show? Who are you afraid of on tonight's show?
See ya. Without a doubt.
Yeah. I like that you're being honest, because I didn't want the answer of nobody. I'm afraid of nobody.
No, that's bullshit.
She is a robot. I do not think that she's human, and
she's cyborg.
Yeah. She's
I've
the
watched her
most
play all the
dangerous in a
time.
sense.
No, I was not happy when I found out that she was playing tonight. And in fact, when I was doing my promo videos and whatever else, although I put a picture of her in my little pod for my promo video, I didn't talk about her. I barely scan on her because I didn't want her to see it and take offense and just destroy me.
By the way, you can be the first to tell everyone this.
Yes.
Tell them I am so sorry that I did not have time to finish the intro video to today's show. I am so sorry. I know. The videos went on Twitter, and then
we'll save it for the next one.
We will. Well, yours in particular.
Yeah.
But you can tell that today. I haven't even had a chance to talk to everyone.
I always put a ton of energy into the promo videos because I just laugh at all the other people who come on.
Really killed it.
They sit in their car. Hey, everyone, Max Payne. I'm looking forward to coming on. Whatever.
Yeah. No, you have props. You printed out pictures. You had I'm not going to give more away, but we'll save it.
It'll be good. We'll save it. We'll do it again in a couple weeks when I come back.
Yeah,
that's easy. I don't have to do it next time. It's fantastic.
Yeah, you know, exactly.
Yeah, I don't have to put a lot of energy or ideas.
You're awesome, and I just really want to make it clear to everyone that, you know, none of this really would exist. It's interesting that on this independent path, because maybe, let's say instead of Max Payne Monday, we went with Run It Once Monday. I think that was one of the choices, right? Run It Once Monday. It wouldn't have had the same punch to it.
I don't think it does. And I love how you guys make the graphics for Max Payne Monday.
With like the blood and stuff.
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Friday's games are fun to watch because they're high stakes.
A
But
bunch
for
of
my dollars,
tryhards.
the Monday game is by
losers.
far the most entertaining game
Uh-huh.
of any live stream anywhere.
We have a bet in the Hustler Casino Live crew on whether or not by the end of this year, the Monday show will be the second most popular show of all the shows of the
Oh, it
week.
has to be.
Yeah, I
Has
don't
to
think
be.
it's ever going to pass Friday.
It's hard to.
But I see it getting close.
You can't
It just
pass-
depends on who we get on the show.
You can't pass games when Rampage comes on and
Yeah.
pulls out the professional punting job
Right.
and gets away with it and all these other things on those awesome bluffs. Everybody wants to see that. But for true fun and entertainment, you can't beat the Monday game. You just can't. Everything else is too serious. People play too tight. And you can play tight on Max Payne Monday, but we're going to roast the shit out of you for doing so.
Thank you so much for being on here.
Always a pleasure.
We have a very special guest next. Remember I told you guys that we are going to meet a production person each week. Today, we are going to meet Neve. So let's get Neve over here.
All right, Neve.
Is Neve mic'd up?
I am.
Take the chair, Neve.
I'm allowed to take the chair?
Oh, you can sit in the chair.
What's
nice
up,
to see
Kyle?
you, buddy.
How's it going?
Yeah. Nice to have you on the show.
Thanks,
so
Kyle.
this is your first time really being on camera, besides
Yeah.
like before the show or doing something. So why don't you tell, who are you, Neve?
So my name is Neve Levy. I'm a producer for Hustler Casino Live. I started working about 5 months ago. And yeah, I do audio, graphics, and recently started directing.
You
a couple
did
of the
start
shows.
directing.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, tell me, I love the story of how you got this job.
Yeah.
So tell me about how that happened, because I think it's actually a lesson for someone or anyone who just really wants something. It's very impressive to me. What
I
happened? You
appreciate
sent
it.
your resume out. What was
Yeah, so it all started during quarantine in college at University of Wisconsin. And we got a poker table in our basement. You know, we weren't going to class. It was snowing outside. We were inside all day playing poker straight throughout the day. And then at night we'd watch Hustler Casino Live. I would see Garrett. You know, we'd all fantasize over how good Garrett is and things like that. But yeah, I really liked the show. And then I ended up moving back home here, living with my parents. And I didn't have a job. I got a degree in finance, but couldn't really find a job in the industry. And one day it just clicked to me, like I gotta give this a shot. I can't live the rest of my life without.
Right. So then you send your resume to Ryan, Nick, and Shaun, the casino GM.
Right.
But you didn't hear back from them, right?
I did not hear back from them. Shaun actually messaged me back on Twitter.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, we can arrange something. And you know, weeks went by, nothing really happened. And one day I just woke up and said, I'm going down to Hustler. I gotta introduce myself. I gotta meet Ryan and show him what I'm all about. And thankfully, I landed the job. Yeah.
Tell me about that first interaction with Ryan. What was he doing?
So it was actually the day that the casino had a security threat. I think an armored truck got robbed that day.
Yeah.
So the casino was
I
on
remember that,
lockdown,
yeah.
completely empty. And I tried getting in.
So the show was canceled that day.
No, it was actually going on, yeah. But
it was.
the casino, like they weren't letting anyone into the casino.
Ryan saying in my ear, yes, it was canceled, but then we ended up doing it.
Oh, nice. So yeah, Ryan was up here just sitting on stage, and I finally convinced the security guard to let me get inside and talk to Ryan, and yeah, had a quick conversation with him, and
then he just kind of gave you your shot, right? It was like you can do different things at first. You know, you were just kind of doing everything at first,
yeah,
right?
well, he had me come in like 3 or 4 times just to see if it was the right fit, see if I enjoyed it, see if there was a spot for me. And after like 2 weeks of just trial runs coming in, that's when he offered me a job. I started out I think I just did audio for my first month, and I was working 4 days a week, and then eventually graphics.
And then, so then within like a month of you working there, the Jack forehand happens, right? That was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I remember you saying to me, you're like, this is my first like real job. Like we had a moment where like things were just at maximum psycho level, and we were like, this is crazy. Like what was that? What a weird experience to have.
Really weird experience. I remember like everything I was doing that day, and just all the sequence of events unfolding before my eyes. I was like, what is going on right now? But It's a day I'll never forget.
Yeah,
for
me
sure.
too. It's for us. It's much like 9/11 or one of those things where it's like, where were you on this day? We were
not as bad as 9/11.
No. But I'm just saying that you remember where you are. It's just one of those experiences where I will always remember being here that day for when this happened. I was the camera guy. You were the sound guy, right? At that time.
Audio, yeah.
Yeah. Wild. Okay, so let's talk about you have some.
Do we have the chat here, or is that
yes,
not?
we do. Let's look at the chat.
Yeah,
Chat. Do you guys have any questions for Neve? That's a great idea, actually. We should look at the chat. We are right now. And if you guys have any questions for Neve, let us know, because
I would love to answer some questions. See what the chat has to say.
moving to directing. That's the new thing for you. So you've now learned the audio job, the graphics. The kind of production assistant stuff, the planning of the stream. This is now essentially, from the live production standpoint, a business you know from the inside and out.
Correct.
Right? You're kind of Ryan Jr. almost in this.
That's my dream. Aspiring to be Ryan Jr.
Ryan Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he is someone to aspire to be like.
Definitely.
I've never met someone so intrinsically motivated to do stuff all the time.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
It can be a little frustrating, I'm sure, right? Because it's like he's so focused. It's like, how are you like this? You know? Do you ever think that about him?
Yeah, I do, but I think it just comes down to passion and loving what he's doing, and thankfully I'm able to say I have a similar passion. I love doing this, so I think it goes well together, and hopefully I don't drive him too crazy back there, but.
No, I think that's a part of working with Ryan, is when you're that passionate, there's always going to be things, right? Of course, because it's like, it would be worse if there wasn't those, because then they don't care. It's because people are caring a lot, and we have these Hustler Casino Live has these very passionate arguments about various things, but I think that's a part of working on a team that's very passionate. So you're going to be directing the shows now on which days?
A few of the shows.
A few of the shows.
Wednesday and Thursdays.
Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
In general, maybe here and there different.
Yeah,
but
maybe a sickness or.
Right. And so what do you do as the director of the show? What is that job?
Yeah, so that's up until now. Ryan has been doing 5 days a week, and essentially, director has access to all the cameras, all the commercials, all the transitions. So everything that you see on camera is essentially done by the director. They have like a motherboard of I would say 30 to 40 keys that they have access to, and they're rotating between cameras, doing the 50-50 shots. That's all one person. So up until now, Ryan's been doing that. And, I just don't think it's sustainable for him to be doing it 5 days a week.
Oh, I agree. It's the same reason I told Ryan I needed to hire video production people so that I can be replaceable.
Exactly.
Right? Honestly, what I was thinking is that maybe you could work with Ryan to do this, but you guys should eventually make a manual on how to, right? It's kind of one of these things right now where it's like it's passed on from the engineer to Ryan to you to someone to this guy. That's just the way it works in our business, though.
Yeah.
And so, as the director, you're the only one who can see the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that?
It comes down to the Jack 4 hand and some security questions that the public were a little skeptical of, because before that, the audio person as well as the graphics person was able to see the whole cards.
Right.
But we made some adjustments in our control room, so now only the director is. So
it must be so boring for the graphics guy now.
Yeah,
right?
so I'm on graphics tonight, and
oh, great! I'm sorry, you're on graphics. Right, so you're literally just following the action, but you don't know what they have.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, I mean.
It's so much less interesting.
It is less interesting, but I can kind of work on my card reading abilities and see if I'm able to gauge.
Yeah.
And if they table their hand, or when I'm doing timestamps later in the night, I'll be able to see the cards.
Last thing before we get to Mike, who's just getting here. David, can you get Mike mic'd? Okay. And tell me about that. This is the timestamps guy, by the way. If you enjoy the timestamps on the streams, that's from Neve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I work really hard in trying to paint a picture for those who didn't watch the stream to kind of go back and be given the full list of timestamps and kind of go through the show and see all the cool highlights, not just hands, but funny moments.
I agree. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I love when you get those moments because sometimes that's what I want to find, not the big hand between these two guys.
Right.
I want to see the joke that this guy told that's notable.
Right, but I also realize like my sense of humor might not be like applied to all the viewers, so something I might find funny, the viewers aren't finding funny in the timestamps. So like if you have any feedback, if you think something should be included in the timestamp, something shouldn't be included, like please let me know. Yeah, I love hearing what you guys like to watch and what you guys find interesting. So any feedback is really
Jimmy
important.
Bluffett wants to know if you play poker.
I do play poker. Yeah, you can catch me playing 2-3. Sometimes 2-5 if my week is going well. I'll maybe jump in 2-5 game, but
If it's a good game.
yeah, or if like my bankroll is a little bigger than it usually is, I'll feel confident and hop into 2-5. But yeah, I play a few days before work. But
One of the things that I think I learned working here is how game selection is insane, right? Because the difference between playing in one of these stream games, for example, and a casino floor game is like night and day, right?
Definitely.
And the different tables you can find and things like that, it slants what your view of a good table is. You work on this show. You're used to we're so used to these maniacs. HCL psychos.
yeah, I want to get in this game.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. No,
Everyone
and
does,
we
I'm
will.
sure.
But anyways, it was wonderful meeting you. Is there anything
course.
else that, look at, these guys are saying play a Monday. Lee French says that. You should. We'll get you staked. I'll get you a Stake Kings thing when we
do
talk
it.
to Tyler.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
I'm
that be
down.
fun?
I'm really
I bet
down.
you the people, Neve works so hard. Chat, would you guys stake Neve to play in a Monday game? I think they would.
Yeah,
I think they
that'd be
would. This
cool.
guy, he's smart. This kid is going places. Okay, thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate it.
You are
Kyle.
awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I really meant that. I remember this one time, I forget what I said. I was like on the air and I was like, it was essentially that you're just one of those people that do things constantly. You're just,
I try to, yeah.
yeah, which is amazing fit for production because it's all, you're never resting. I need to do this, and you're always, this
Yeah,
thing.
for
I'm going
sure.
to tangle this thing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this. And yeah.
At the start of the day, you kind of have an idea of your responsibilities, but so many things come up in the spur of the moment that you need to immediately adjust to and react to.
Right.
And those things you can't really anticipate. So it's all about being on your toes, getting
Right,
ready
because
to
the
handle
show must
situation.
go on, right? If you guys could hear sometimes the yelling and screaming on the radio comms, but it is an emergency sometimes. The sound is out.
Right.
What's going on? The video feed is out. It has to be fixed. It needs to pop in. So, anyways,
All right.
you're awesome.
Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you, chat. See you soon.
Now we have our featured guest of the evening, Mike Matisow, the Mouth.
Matisow.
Matisow. He corrects me and says Matisow. Matisow.
What's up, motherfucker?
What's up? Nice to talk to you.
Fuck you.
He's in the Max Payne Monday spirit. I love it. So, are you gonna do your first slow roll?
I mean, I'm gonna try.
I find this hard.
What if I
to
don't win a
believe.
hand? How do you slow roll if you don't win a hand?
I don't believe you is the thing. How many hours of poker? You think 20, 30,000 hours of poker in your life? Something like in that ballpark, maybe?
Never slow. I tried one
You
time.
never slow roll?
I tried one time and I started laughing. I couldn't keep a straight face. Because to me, slow roll is the worst thing you could ever do to anybody in a poker game. I think it's bad for poker. It's bad etiquette. It's just awful. So, but if I know that it's going to happen, and everybody does it, then it won't bother
It's
you.
a culture thing here. It's all in good fun.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
That's different.
Yeah. There's even
So
when,
maybe you wouldn't
even
even
when
count
Shaun
this.
slow rolled me on Poker Night in
Well, we
America,
know that
whatever,
one.
he literally apologized to me 1,000 times, for a year straight.
Did he?
Because we were good friends, and he knew the only thing I don't deal with is slow roll, and he did it right after I accidentally punted off 13K because I thought that the guy who squeezed was the straddle, and he was actually the small blind. And if I knew that, the middle blind, and if I knew that, I might have just folded. Because the guy was playing really tight. So I ended up losing 13,000 in a hand. I would have lost 125 because I think it came ace high on the flop. I would have just flatted queens. So not only did I get stacked that hand, but then I get slow rolled the next hand. So it really fucked. He's lucky I didn't kick his ass that day.
You have been a professional gambler for how long?
I've been playing professionally poker since 1996.
And there's a lot of lessons that you've learned. We had a nice conversation last night about a lot of these lessons, and the lessons that I would like to, you've experienced a lot of ups and downs in that time, right? A lot of our fans are young in their poker careers. So Ryan, why don't we start off, you have a documentary coming out, right?
Yes.
We're gonna watch a clip from that documentary. Ryan, the first clip.
Try and have balance. Distance yourself from politics, distance yourself from negativity, distance yourself, all the young kids in poker, from partying. You need balance. Balance is important.
Balance is important, not just in GTO, what hands you're gonna play. What do you mean when you're saying that?
In life, and balance is you can't find yourself like waking up. Let's say you're playing on the internet.
Yeah.
Waking up, clicking on, logging into a game, jumping in a game. Okay, I've done that many times in law school.
Yeah, you play online a lot now.
Yeah,
well, but it's not online.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a different online.
Yeah, but back in the day, I'm talking about even. Or getting out of bed, getting in the shower, and running to the Bellagio to make sure you get that seat.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to have balance. You got to get up. You got to grab breakfast, work out, get yourself in a routine where you're eating the same every day. You're taking your medication the same time every day. You're not just jumping into a poker game. Like, I've done that many years, and I've had bad results. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in my life now, I found balance. And the thing is, like, to me, because of my injury and what I deal with, and when my documentary comes out, everybody will be able to understand what I deal with. I make sure that I am mentally prepared to jump into a poker game. If not, I'm just not going to be successful, because I deal with a lot of extracurricular stuff that other people have to deal with.
Yeah.
And if I was to just, like even during the World Series of Poker, it's the thing that's most important is like those day 2 restarts, right? So you get done at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
you get home,
get a good night's sleep.
By the time you grab something to eat and you get home, it's 3:30 in the morning, right? Well, you got to be up at 12:30 to be there at 2, and even then you're kind of rushing, right? So you must be, it's very important to find a way to, and I told all the young kids this, especially at the World Series of Poker, when you're first getting there, is you're playing for 6 weeks. You don't go to strip clubs for 6 weeks. You don't go out with your friends drinking any nights, okay? If you get knocked out of a tournament that day and you're not playing the tournament the next day, you relax at home, you fucking listen to music, you watch TV, and you take it all professionally. Because after the series is over, when you win, okay, you go party, go to Hawaii, go to strip clubs, go where you want to go, but don't party during the series. It's just like sleep is everything during the World Series of Poker. It's like everything.
Yeah, Scotty Wynn told me that. That was his one tip. He said, sleep aggressively, baby.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I didn't understand that, because I stayed up, but when I played the main event between day 3 and day 4, which was just idiotic. It got too late. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to wake up. I'm gonna have to stay up.
Well, like I made it to day 4 last year, and I've cashed it now, I think 4 years in a row. I think I'm 1 away from tying or breaking the record, so I hope to do that next year. But like, about 4 years ago, I said to myself, why am I not cashing this? I used to always cash this. And then I realized, what I was doing wrong and what I needed to do.
And it was the balance, the life stuff?
It was that, and the fact that the main event plays different than any other event. So, like, in most events, right, you're like day 1, day 2, you're trying to accumulate chips, and you're trying to navigate, but in the World Series of Poker, the main event, there's always going to be landmines, and there's always going to be people punting you your stack.
Right.
So, because it's such a marathon tournament, it's really not about like looking to accumulate chips. It's about the first 3 days is kind of like
just surviving.
Like, you'll be making like folds that are really like you would never make in another tournament, because you'll be like, okay, I've got this many chips, I think my EV is here. I know I know what he has here. Let's not take this spot for our chips. Let's fold that, grind a little bit blinds and antes, and then find a better spot. And so.
And what's the farthest you've made it in the main event?
Oh, I've made the final table twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
what the last time was?
2005.
2005.
Yeah. And I finished 30th in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
I took a retarded beat, really unlucky beat, with ace jack to ace 9, and flop came ace ace, and we get it all in. He hits a 9 on the turn.
That's gross.
But you know, you have to. Like last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Day 1, day 2, I had really bad starting tables. So you have to know, okay, your table's bad. You're going to be hard to get chips.
Yeah.
Your only goal is to keep your chip stack at where you're at. Let's say you start the day off with 50 big blinds. You have to get to the end of the day with between 40 and 50 big blinds without just whatever you have to do to chop blinds and antes and use your, and you know, and grind through. And you just tell yourself, you're not getting any chips today, okay? Now, could you cooler somebody and get chips? Sure. You know what I'm saying? But you're not going to go.
You're not going to run over the table.
You have to take what the table gives you, okay? And once you make that adjustment, that's how you advance into the main event. Day 3, I got a good table. A table that let me really be aggressive.
Yeah.
And then when we got like 2 hours away from the money on day 3, I raised 90% of the hands, and the guy behind me and him looked at each other, and we just like kind of shook each other. And so like I raised, we understood that the table was letting us do whatever we want, but we had no reason to get involved with each other. You know what I'm trying to say? And it's kind of like you know, because you don't want to be opening and the guy, you don't want to be taking advantage of the situation. You know, if you have a guy behind you that knows what you're doing, you know, you don't want him coming after you. As long as you're giving him the fair share.
And there's like an agreement between pros. Is what you're saying.
It's like not really an agreement, but it's like a
unwritten rule.
It's kind of like in 04 when I told Bramer, you know, the famous line, "I got big cojones, you got little cojones, stay out of my way." That was basically, we had a table that we could run over, and he would keep coming after me. But I was letting, you know, I was like, I wasn't just like raising every hand. I was like, you know, raising 2, 3 in a row, then letting him raise 2, 3 in a row. But then he would start coming after me for no reason. Me and Ramer are good friends, by the way. I just want you to know. But like at the time, that was what that was all about. Now, in 2022, you don't get tables that you could run over very often. I mean, you just don't. Okay, but on day 3s, when people are, you know, trying to make the money in the main, okay, most of the people are in the main event, like at least half are satellited in or are playing for the first time. So like,
do you talk to them at the table and find out how they got there? Find out if they're a guy from a family game?
I mean, on my vlog, like when I get to the beginning of every day, I like ask everybody their name and where they're from, and I kind of, you know, get an idea. Then I don't really vlog all of that, but I do ask them, like,
because that's important information, I think.
It's very important. Like if a guy says, "Oh yeah, I satellited in here," or a guy like,
or I won my bar league.
Right. So you right then and there, you understand what their mental frame's going to be.
Right.
Going in the last with 3 hours to go in the night, you know, like they're going to want to make the money. You know, it's kind of like, you know, these mystery bounties that have gotten really like popular. Okay, and I asked somebody, why do you think the mystery bounties got popular? And you know, they come up with an answer, but I know the answer of why the mystery bounties got popular. Okay, when everybody sits down in a poker tournament, right? Most of them aren't saying, "Oh, I've got to beat Phil Ivey, Mike Mattisov, Alex Fox." They don't think like that. They're like, "I play good poker. You know, if I win some flips and things go my way, you know, maybe I can win this." Okay. Well, on the mystery bounty, they're thinking, all I got to do is make it to day 2, and if I fucking knock out 1 or 2 people, I got a shot at winning $1 million, right? So basically, they're trying to hit the lottery without actually having to go through and hit the entire lottery.
It's a shortcut.
Okay. But the mistake that they make is late on day 1, when they're trying to make day 2 to get to the mystery bounties is they're trying to get to day 2. And the pros are fucking raising every single hand to try and get a stack to get to day 2. Because if they get a stack to get to day 2, they got a chance of knocking out way more people. And so like, you know, even when Matt Glantz won the $1 million last year, right? He talked to me with about an hour to go on day 1. And he says, yeah, Mike, I coolered this guy, I doubled up, I got a stack, and now I'm like raising every hand. He goes, they're all trying to make day 2, you know? So.
Didn't he split it with a few people too?
I mean, he said,
or they had percentages or something?
I mean,
because that's what you do in these mystery bounty tournaments now. People network a lot.
Well, there's a lot of saves that go on, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, it's kind of like the Circus Survivor pool, right? It's like, you know, when I got down to like 75 people left, right? And we had one other guy that was in, and we swapped like a certain amount of percentage, right? So now we would have 2 entries with 75 to go. You see what I'm saying? Because like even if you have 75% and now all of a sudden you have 35%, you're better. 35% of 6.2 million with 2, you had a better chance with 2 entries. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. But like it's the mystery bounties are really good tournaments for pros with unlimited re-entries because they are going to gamble. Especially when you have 3 days.
Because they're not playing to make day 2, they're playing to win. And
no, they're playing to get a stack
or
to
get
day
a
2.
stack, so they have a position to win.
Right.
Yeah.
So they have a position to knock more people out. You know, like I'm not the type of person like as a poker player normally that knocks people out of. I don't do that. Because I never.
And everyone knows this. Do you think this changes the way the general public plays against you? Because you're one of the most filmed poker players in the last 20 years.
I mean, like what? I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like I told my director of my documentary, I'm going to wear my political shirt today so they don't put me on the fucking main table, right? And I at the last second I decided not to, and it ended up being the biggest mistake I ever made because I ended up at a feature table, and then one of the guys who picked off my bluff that busted me last year, he's like, "Well, I saw you do this in this one hand." You know, the truth of the matter is, and I'm a big proponent against this, and what I say it's never going to be done, but it should be done, is like, why do we need an hour delay at a feature table? Like, why can't people watch that the next day? Like, I just don't think anybody at the table should ever be able to see how you're playing.
Oh, you're saying it should be more than an hour.
I don't think that,
or like a day,
at the World Series of Poker, a big film tournament, there should be any live broadcast. Nobody should ever see what you're doing that day. Now, if they want to see the next day so they can learn the next time they play with you, it's fine. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's way different than like a live stream. I don't care if people, you know, after the show, you know, what they'll see how I play or whatever. But I mean, I just think like, you know, it's the World Series of Poker, right? We're playing for, you know, 10 million for first. There's no other tournament that has a live stream with hole cards, you know, and I just don't think that anybody should be able to know how you're playing. Like there was one hand that I'd semi-bluffed a hand, and when like the guy who called me down on my bluffs, like, and I tried to say, well, I saw you do this an hour ago. Like, so he's got somebody like literally looking at seeing how I'm playing the whole time. Like, you can't have. It's just I don't think anybody should know how you're playing.
One of the things that you were talking to me about last night, and I found really interesting, is the flows. And this is especially true when you have a regular game, right? You have people that you play with all the time, but also it can apply at a table when you're playing at a main event or something. You're with them for 8 hours. And what do you mean by that, the different flows of the game?
Well, it's like, and like, I was even just like I was talking with Ryan about it just now. It's like, you know, certain people play a certain way. And sometimes, if you're not playing, the game's been going for 2 hours, and you jump into a game, you're like, okay, this guy plays like this or that, right?
Right.
But it's important to know when the guy's winning and playing super tight, if the guy just lost a big pot, if he's kind of tilting. So it's real important to see the flow of the game. If you see all of a sudden a guy who's punting normally, and all of a sudden he's 1, 2, 3 pots, and now all of a sudden he's ahead, and he's been playing for 3 hours, and he's kind of locked up. You know,
he's playing better hands.
You don't want, all of a sudden, you don't want to be calling like 15,000 with in a spot that he's probably not bluffing, because he's kind of locked up and wants to book that win. In poker, it's kind of like a mindset. Like even myself, right? The other day, I was winning like 18,000, right? And I was trying to switch my sleep schedule because I was going to bed and sleep until 7 o'clock at night. I was going to bed at like 10 in the morning, whatever. And then I would play, about 1 or 2 in the morning when everybody's kind of stuck, and I'd get in the game and I'd kind of be fresh or whatever. But I had to switch my sleep schedule, so I stayed up all day. And we ended up, I think it was Saturday, where we had a day game. People are watching the football, but we had a day game going. So I get out in front, and I'm like, well, I'm getting a little bit tired, and I found myself like playing way weak tight. And I literally folded 2 hands that were just in any other spot. I just go all in and call, and I would have won big money in the game. Instead, I lose 10,000 back because I played like, and that's what I'm trying to talk about. Is observing the game. Like I knew that I was a little off because I was tired. So when I get tired, I kind of play tighter.
What about chasing money? This is a lesson for these guys in chat. I know you have a lot of experience with this, and let's talk about, I think this is the #1 leak of gamblers and poker players in general. What do you think?
Yeah, it's like chasing losses, right? So like all of a sudden you get in the game, right? You're kind of a little tired, you're not balanced, you kind of worked all day. And now you jump in the game and you're on a winning streak, and the next thing you know, you play a flip that you didn't really need to play, you lose it.
You lose it.
You're down 20,000, right? And now, I'm tired, now I'm down 20,000, oh my God. And you start pressing, right? So it's real important when you're losing to get up and quit. And it's real important when you're winning
to get up and quit.
To if you're not tired, to stay and play.
But now, also you need to book a win.
But if you're running bad, Mr. Feldman, if you're running bad and you fucking all of a sudden are winning 40 or 50, you just say, you take the win. If you're running bad and you're up 20,000, you take the win. You've got wins. It's not, I know it's one long game.
It's one long session,
but positivity breeds positivity. Negativity breeds negativity. Give you an advice. Okay, so I had one of my biggest losing streaks September of 2021.
Okay.
And the World Series is starting October 1st of 2021. It was delayed because of COVID, right? Now, I'm like, fuck. I'm on this losing streak. I can't go into this World Series on a losing streak. I got to get my mindset right? So I ended up winning 17 sessions in a row going into the World Series.
Oh my God.
Okay, but those 17 sessions were only $70,000. Okay, which is an average of what, 4,000 a session. That's nothing.
These are huge numbers to most people.
No, but I mean,
you're
but you're talking about a game where you win or lose 20,000 a day. So I was like booking all these little wins to create positivity. You see what I'm trying to say? Like,
so you would purposely leave the game earlier than you would just to book a win?
Well, because you need wins. When you're losing, when you go on a losing streak, all right, your mind gets in a negative mindset, okay? So to get yourself out of that, you've got to book small wins. Like Ted Forrest always said, winning is good for the ego, you know? And so even if it's small wins, all of a sudden you win 5,000, you win 7,000, you win 8,000, now all of a sudden you're not thinking about that 130,000 losing streak where you played like shit, okay? You're thinking about, the series is coming up. I just won 6 days in a row, 7 days in a row, 8. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's all a mindset. Now, if you're able to be losing and still have that mindset, then that's good. Some people are a little bit weak, and I'm one of them. You know, everybody.
Well, you're known for some of your explosions. That's what you're.
Well, everybody in poker knows that I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm very emotional. So when you're an emotional person, you must, to contain your emotions, you need to play. You need to put some wins together. You know what I'm saying? And so even though I went into the World Series on a 17-day winning streak for 70,000, my mindset, instead of, oh shit, man, I just had the worst losing streak ever, is, hey, I'm playing good, I'm winning, I'm on a winning streak, right? Now I knew I wasn't playing near as good as I could be, but my mind is telling me, hey, you won 17 days in a row. You're a winner. You're a winner. Go back in there and fight. You're a winner. You see what I'm saying? But if your mind is telling you, and you see it at the World Series all the time, you see people a weekend of the World Series just get beat after beat, and they're like,
they go cash games,
and then they're like, and another thing at the World Series, you either play cash or you play tournaments.
Yeah.
You cannot play both.
Yeah.
If you play both, you're drawing dead. There's just no way. You make
they're playing tournaments through the night or playing cash through the night.
They're two different games, okay? Tournament poker is about survival and attacking blinds and antes. Fucking cash games about stacking people. It's just you know, no limit, and the same with the limit games. You know, the limit games. It's just you can't play both. Trust me when I tell you, you can't play both. I played one cash session that year in November, and I lost 40,000. Right, 3-600 game, and I ran really bad. You know, but it's like. But I was mad at myself because why am I jumping in this cash session when I'm playing tournaments all day? You know?
So this is a small game for you, this Max Payne Monday game. It's smaller than the game.
Yeah, well,
10, 20, 20, 40.
Because of my injury and because of everything I've been through, no game's a small game for me anymore. In other words, 9 years ago, I had to play the biggest game against the best players, okay?
And why is that? Ego? Why did you want to play the best?
Because you believe you're the best, you know you're the best, and you don't give a shit. Okay?
So you would have rather played better players than slightly worse players down a stake.
That's how it used to be.
Yeah.
Now, I've learned. You know, when my documentary comes out, people will understand what I'm talking about. I don't want to give too much away.
I look forward to it. It looks great.
But like, when you've been through what I've been through, and there's nobody in the world but two people that know what I've been through, and you've bottomed out, and you
multiple times, so to say.
But I'm talking about after the after the injury. I mean, after the injury bottom out was really bottom. And so when you bottom out, and it looks like there's no hope, and you've had tens of millions of dollars, and you have to sell your house, and you have to sell your car, and you got to downsize, and you have to eat McDonald's or Taco Bell for a year and a half. It wakes you up. It brings you back to reality. Like most of the pros, like all the people I grew up with that are worth millions, like they're not in reality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even Phil, who's my best friend, right? I talk to Phil every time, right? And Phil hasn't had to grind in a poker game for 15 years.
No, well, he's an exception to the rule.
You know what I'm trying to say? And it's like, so a lot of times when I say, 50% of the poker world's scummy, right? He gets mad at me for
low.
That. It's low. Yeah. I know that. He gets mad at me for that because he thinks that, everybody I meet's so nice, okay?
To him.
But you're not. You don't have to sit there and be a cutthroat person to get yourself in a game to make money, because now everything's so many private games. If you don't know people, you don't get in, and so people will do whatever they can to get in these private games, and unfortunately that's just the way it is. And so it's really a cutthroat. I mean, coming here is fun, you know what I'm saying? But like having to play poker at a casino, it's just not fun because the people are there. It's just a big cutthroat, and it's really just. I don't want to talk bad about the poker community because the people I play with are all good people, 90% of them. But I'm just saying, like if you have to play for a living,
And of the people that play for a living, in your experience, how many of them go broke? The ones who are really
90%.
doing it. 90%.
And you know what? There's not a person I play with. Within 20 minutes, I'll tell you if they're going to go broke or not.
Yeah, because you've seen enough.
because how many people are still around since the 90s? You got me, Daniel. I mean, that are actually.
And you've gone broke many times.
9
very
times.
Public. 9 times. Yeah. About that.
Yeah. Who are still grinding every day? Me, Daniel, Phil Ivey.
Tom Dwan is playing a lot.
Tom Dwan, but he came up in the mid 2000s, like 2000.
You're right. You said 90s. That's
okay,
true.
But I came up with Alan Cunningham, Phil Ivey, Daniel, me, and John Jawanda.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the only two that aren't in the Hall of Fame are me and Alan Cunningham, and both should already be in. Okay. But even Alan Cunningham, he's playing. But he's playing all the small tournaments, right? He's not playing big tournaments. He's not grinding cash anymore.
He doesn't want to play against the best anymore.
Well, it's like a lot of people, they made money, they invest, whatever.
He strikes me as someone who is smart with his money.
You got to understand, to want to continue to play, you have to care about the game and you have to love the game, okay? And so even through all the injuries and the hard work and the hard things I go through, I force myself to go to the World Series every year.
You mentioned something to me last night, which I found really interesting. I just want to get this in. You said that if you're a really good no-limit player, you essentially can always win.
Yeah, I believe.
Explain that, because that goes against a lot of what people think, and there's going to be downswings. You're good, but you're saying you can overcome.
The thing is like, okay, if you buy in deep, you're going to, you could lose, you can get crushed, But if, let's just say, you're buying in for, I don't know, 200 big blinds, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, how many times are you going to get stacked? If you know where you're at in a hand, it's like you could get away from hands, It's like...
So don't buy in too deep. That's advice in general.
If you have a big bankroll and you don't mind swinging, it's fine, But, like, if you're buying in, like, 200 big blinds deep, let's just say, right? And if you lose 3 buy-ins, that's 600 big blinds. I mean, you're just done for the day. It's hard to win 3 buy-ins. You know what I'm saying? It just is. So it's like, again, it comes back to money management and game selection. Something I never had my whole life, okay?
Game selection is, I think, number one.
Yeah, game selection is, somebody once told me, like, as long as you're always play a game where you're the top 3 player in the game and you're always going to win. So basically, if you're going around and you want to play a game, you don't need to play the biggest game, okay?
You choose one where you're one of the best 3.
Poker is not about, see, that's why I don't play the poker go stuff. Yeah. Poker's not about seeing whose dick is bigger, okay? Poker's about making money. And to make money, you got to be in games where you're always a top 3 player in the game. That's just the name of the game. Okay, poker is not about to see who the best is. Poker is about making money, and making money means you got to be a top 3 player. If you're always a top 3 player in every game, if you want to go down 4 levels for the day and play and pick up 3,000-4,000 instead of 30,000 or 40,000, because that game's better, that's what you do. Now, it took me many years to figure this out.
Ego and just wanting to,
But once you've bottomed out and you've hit bottom and you've had to come back from the bottom, you understand, hey, I've gone broke, so-and-so. I'm 54 years old. I ain't going broke again, And so you make sure to always play in a game where you're a top 3 player in a game. It's
been so interesting talking to you. And the most interesting thing to me is the 90% of the real gamblers who are playing for a living go broke, in your experience.
I mean, every single person that I ever said would go broke,
they do.
Went broke at least once.
Yeah. Because you can tell. It's not like they have
I don't want to name
job.
names, but there's a couple of very famous poker players.
Of course.
That I told them, because I had gone broke like 4 times at the time, or 5. Yeah. That if you don't fix yourself, you're going to go broke. And they were young, and
they're on a heater. They don't believe you.
When you're young and impressionable, trust me, you don't listen to anybody. Because I remember when I was young, they're like, Mike, he goes, I know you're great, but you're running really good, and you better be careful. I'm like, they go, what do you do with all the money you make playing poker? I go, I play higher. What do you think I do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was just my thought process. Like, nobody can beat me. But it kind of really doesn't work that way.
Great.
It's, you've got to, like I say, egos will break you, cards will make you, stay humble. And it's just like, you have to go through it. And no matter all these young kids and who you talk to, they will not listen. They have to experience it themselves. Now, is there some people that'll say, Mike Madison, he's been down that road. I think I better listen to what he's saying. There's a few, but 8 out of 10 of them,
no, they're not going.
They're going to have to go broke.
Yeah, they have to. You have to.
And it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then when it does happen, what do you learn from it? You see what I'm saying? It's like, what do you learn from it? My problem is I was set and I had full tilt. So even if I went broke, I always had the full tilt money coming in. You see what I'm trying to say? So I didn't give a shit.
Ryan, how much time do we have? All right, thank you so much. We are coming right back with Liquid Steve after this break. Mike, it has been a pleasure.
Pleasure.
You are awesome.
Got it.
Chat Pro, slow roll, never fold. Raise it up. Chat Pro, slow roll, never fold.
Raise it up. Chat Pro, slow roll, never fold. Slow roll, never fold. Slow roll, never fold.
Raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up. Chat Pro. Raise it up. Chat Pro. Slow roll. Never fold.
This time let's
Raise it up. Chat Pro. Slow roll. Never fold.
Raise it up. Chat Pro. Slow roll. Never fold. Slow roll. Never fold. Slow roll. Never fold.
Raise it up. Raise it up. Chat Pro.
We are back with Liquid Steve. Steve, it is so nice to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So the last time that you were on a Max Payne Monday, the last 30 minutes of the show may have been the most legendary run I've ever seen on the show.
Really?
Yeah.
The most legendary?
Yeah, I mean, just as far as getting cards, it was every hand.
Yes, there was a lot of skill involved. I just hit every hand.
You just hit every hand. We're gonna watch a video of this in a little bit. I am not exaggerating. So we gathered together the footage. I didn't realize you won 6 out of 8 hands at the end of the show.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. It felt great.
And it's not just winning them too. It was aces, kings, aces, queens.
And then I think I played one hand in the middle of all of that. That was like, I don't know, 6-9 suited or something, and then I hit the straight.
You hit a straight.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I guess I just need to hit. Yeah, that's how you win. It was great.
So how did you first start playing poker?
I first started playing poker, I guess, right when I hit 21. I played a lot online. There was a couple house games with friends in the Washington, D.C. metro area that I played. And my parents played poker a lot, so I learned from my dad, and it was, I've just always been in love with watching other people play poker and playing a little bit myself, but honestly, total rec player. I've never really taken it seriously.
But poker, Team Liquid, for those who know, right, Team Liquid has a long kind of history with poker.
Yeah,
There's been poker tournaments, there's been the sponsored players, there's been all this stuff. You and your partner, Victor, both poker players.
Yes, very much
Does that
so.
factor into your relationship at all? Do you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. We well, for folks that don't know, Team Liquid is an esports organization. We're one of the largest in the world. We compete in 18 titles. It was founded about 20 years ago, which is a long time for esports. That's super OG, right?
Ancient.
Yeah, exactly. And it started in the StarCraft days, right? Which is one of the most OG kind of multiplayer video games, right? I think from my perspective, it's kind of when esports was born.
Esports was born from StarCraft. That is a fact.
Yes. And right around that time, the communities of StarCraft and poker were somewhat overlapped. They had a good cross-section, cross-pollination of fandom. And at the time, Victor set up a website called, I think it was liquidpoker.net.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember this site?
Yeah. No, because I was on Team Liquid way back then, in that era. Liquid Poker, that was a thing.
Yes, and Victor set up that site, and it was just a community place to hang out and talk about hands and stuff. Not so much very much traffic today.
But still,
but
on TL.net, there's a lot of poker talk on there.
Absolutely.
So it's still a part of the foundation of what you guys do.
Absolutely. So it's kind of funny because Victor and I will be working on a business issue that is facing the company, and we'll definitely use terms like, oh, we're already pot committed, or let's go all in with this particular strategy. So, we both use the jargon and nomenclature in day-to-day business.
But that's actually important for business to know that you're kind of like-minded and also that you understand that. Right? Because he can say, we're pot committed, and metaphorically, you understand what that means.
I know exactly what he means. Or he'll be like, just don't fold on the turn, or bet the river, Steve.
We have to bluff.
We have to bluff.
We have to bluff.
Yes.
This is the weakest we could possibly be here. Yeah, that's funny.
It's like you can take this really complex business strategy and just funnel it into what you mean. Yeah.
Okay, so let's watch the highlight reel from the last time that you were on Max Payne Monday. This is the sun run that we were talking about when we started the interview. This is a compilation of 6 hands, and I believe it's out of either 8 or 9 at the very end of the show. Because and before this, I believe you were down.
Oh, it was way down. I think the first hand I played was a 2-7 hand where I tried to bluff off DGAF. Sorry about that. I tried to bluff him, and I just like. I was down 5K at the very beginning.
Right. Oh, yes. And honor for that. If you remember, on my commentary, I was impressed with that one.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy came to play. I love it.
And he called with like middle pair or something. I was like, oh, or maybe bottom pair.
Yeah. That's funny. All right, Ryan, let's roll the clip.
$25.
Call.
2,500.
Go straight.
He's being a good sport.
What the fuck?
Steve saved the table, but he didn't. He had 2 pair. What a joke for rubies. Unfair.
Was I right? Or was I right?
She needs a jack, and a jack only. One time.
Yeah.
She hit the
No.
Motherfucker. I'm sorry, that felt mean.
And Steve slow rolled her?
I couldn't even do it with like, it felt bad. It's like I feel evil.
I knew you had ace king.
You couldn't help it.
I'm like trying to play the role of Max Payne Monday.
Meanwhile, Liquid Steve's night continues. This is danger for DJF. He's bluffing into a guy with a set.
7,500. Raise it to
7,500. Okay.
7,500.
That's just a snap fold.
What do you mean nice? No.
I mean nice.
Yeah.
Got to keep his bluffs alive, though, is the problem.
He's bullying us.
And Steve has kings?
Yeah, who woke this guy up?
What is this?
Could you please come back next week?
Your sun running. There's a lot of other hands other than an ace. There you go. Yeah.
We
Go
go
one time.
Okay. Let's go one time. Ooh.
You have an ace?
Max Payne.
Eli needs to hit.
Go.
The doctor is in. No.
2 diamonds?
I wanted it.
Oh, 10.
Steve has aces again. No surprise here. Steve is 80% to win.
I respect your heater. I think I got you, but I'm gonna respect your
Even
heater.
the players recognize it, that he's on a heater.
That was not good. You're so full of shit. Show. It's the end of the stream. Show I'm gonna see anyway. What does it matter?
I'm finally getting some bluffs through. So a lie.
So full of shit.
Gamer to the end.
I raised 700
Liquid
the hand
Steve.
before with 7-5.
What a performance by Liquid Steve tonight. Let's hear about a DK.
I don't know what that means, but okay. Yeah.
Maybe that's cool. Yeah, I think
Wow. Liquid Steve. What is going on? I mean, his opponent has 5 high. He's embarrassed. This is what this is. I think Liquid Steve is genuinely...
700.
God damn it. I just don't think I'm going to be able to win this hand.
No. Heater.
What in the fuck is happening?
Yeah, what is happening? How lucky is this guy?
I don't think so.
So yeah, that was a little taste of what it was.
Hopefully I didn't use up all my luck, because that was a lot of luck.
It was a lot of luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun because, you know, I think through the whole session I was a little bit down for the most part, and you know, then I think at one point I remember thinking to myself, I have to like hide from whomever I was playing the hand against, like the villain, and I was like, because I can't believe what's happening right now.
Yeah,
like, it's so hot that like I'm gonna give it away.
Slow rolling the up and coming Twitch streamer, I think, was kind of a little.
Yeah, that was mean. That was so mean.
There was so much meaning to gather there. She's the up and coming Twitch streamer, you know, wants to get into the esports world, and she gets slow rolled by a titan of the industry. It's just so funny. But it was great. And you know, you have to know how to play your heaters, right? And you know, maybe giggling when you're
I was definitely giving it away. Yeah,
giggling isn't the best to hide your strength, but
hey, maybe I'll just giggle when I'm bluffing now.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's the
false
thing. It's
tells.
all
Yeah.
it's a psychological thing. No, I think looking back and because I rewatched some of the stream, and I have a few friends that are much better than me, and I've asked them to kind of like coach me, which is one of the benefits of playing on stream because you can watch the hands and they can sit down and be like, Steve, you really could have had more value with this, or change your bet sizing, whatever it might be. And so, yeah, it was fun. I definitely could have played them a little bit better and played the heater, but it was fun nonetheless.
In my opinion, the most important thing about playing on the stream, because, especially on a Max Payne Monday game, the game itself is not representative of many other poker games you'll ever be in. Right?
That's why it's so fun.
Yeah. That's why it's so fun.
Yeah.
But when you get to see video of yourself, it's like a pitcher in baseball. You watch video of yourself throwing. It's like, you watch yourself shooting in basketball, golf swing. It's the same thing. You watch yourself.
Yep.
What do? Are you looking at their chips? Are you giggling when you have a strong hand?
Just giving it away.
So funny.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, but watching back is
it's cool.
It's really cool, actually. You don't get that when you just play.
Right.
The table over here. You're not gonna have somebody kind of tell you should have done this, you should have done that, you should have your sizing was off, or whatever it might be. So, yeah, it definitely helps.
Yeah, especially because as gamblers, we like to erase the losses, the bad experiences, which is the worst thing you can do, right?
Because you're not going to get better.
You're not going to get better. This is something that you, I'm sure, have a lot of experience in the esports world, right? Where the best players learn from their mistakes. They grow fast, right? You can tell when you're looking to sign someone, like, this guy's a prodigy. This guy, he's getting good really fast, right? You can identify those people.
Absolutely. I think, I've been in esports now for, over 12 years and met a lot of players. And not just guys.
Yeah.
And what I would say are the common denominators that show up in a pro player than the average player. Number one is this kind of obsession with the game. Like, they're so head down and focused in it that they come up for air and they're like, wait, 4 hours passed? They love playing the game. So obsession, number one. Number two is that they also obsess about every mistake. And they go back and they say, what could have been different? Whether it's like just a millisecond, or a decision that they made, or a thought that they had, or the manner in which they communicated to a teammate, or how they get up in the morning and their ritual throughout the day, or the mindset going into a tournament match. It's just like you can look at so many different aspects and say, I'm gonna fix this, I'm gonna fix that, I'm gonna improve this. And they're not afraid of feedback from other people. I've noticed that a lot of players, they become defensive, like, no, I know better. But the greats listen. Now, they may decide, oh, well, I'm only going to take this piece of advice.
But they'll listen.
But they'll listen. And they're, and I'd say the last thing is that they're all really smart.
They're all really smart.
Really smart, And
but also, like, so it's essentially, to me, it seems like there's certain players you can identify before they're necessarily great, right? And you guys have a history of doing this, of having very good picks.
Yeah.
This guy. So he's not necessarily the best yet, but you're saying he's going, this guy's on his way.
Yeah.
You can feel that from them.
Yeah, number one, you look at their in-game stats and you can tell, like, based on the performance of their games, this is a better player. Like, the average gold per minute, the average damage per minute, there's so many stats that you can look at, right? Like VPIP and all these sorts of, I don't even know all the poker stats, but there are.
There's VPIP and
there's like a bunch of stats, right? And you can look at that and you say, okay, well, a player that plays in this many events and an average placement and okay, from a quantitative perspective, that player is pretty good. But the part that is missing that a lot of people don't get is, are they diligent and responsible about getting better? Because there's a lot of gamers that just tune in, they'll get on the computer and they'll just play, and they'll play, and they'll play, and they'll play. And then they wake up and they're like, wait, I'm not any better. It's like, well, because in order to improve, you got to have a more diverse set of how you improve as a player. Part of it's watching film, part of it is playing the video game, part of it is talking to other people, part of it is having mentors that review your play. Like that holistic view on improving as a player is critical. If you just think you're going to get better by playing the game over and over and over, it's not going to happen.
Right. As someone deeply involved in the StarCraft community, the team houses of Korea, right, they never quite worked, I feel like, the way that they did there in the United States. But professional esports athletes are living a life that's closer to that all the time now, right?
Yeah.
Where they're waking up early. They're doing yoga. They're,
I mean, it would blow your mind. Like,
yeah.
Like we have a facility in the Netherlands. It's a 12,000 square foot facility. We have another facility in Santa Monica. We have another facility in Sao Paulo. These facilities where our players go and they train. There's physical therapists, there's coaches, there's mental assistance and counseling. There's a whole kind of ritual that they go through on a day-to-day basis to optimize performance. It rivals what you would see in other professional sports. And a lot of people are like, why? There's not enough viewership or there's not enough money. It's like, no, there is. Like the average salaries are going toe-to-toe with some other sports now. Which is pretty incredible. And the sponsorship dollars are there, and the media rights, and the number of gamers, right? There's like a number of gamers, like more or less in the future. Well, obviously more.
I was listening to an interesting guy talk he was some nerd on the news who was saying that the word gamer is going to kind of disappear in the next 10 or 20 years because like gaming will just be so ubiquitous with life that everyone's a gamer, right?
It's integrated.
Yeah.
It's like the pop culturalization of gaming has really changed from when I grew up. Like I'm 41 years old, and I remember when I went to high school, like I didn't have gamer friends that I would hang out with, right? It was like a stigma. It was like,
a stigma.
You're like some basement dwelling, haven't seen the sun, like type of person.
Yeah.
And now you have kids that are like doing Fortnite dances in the cafeteria and like jumping, like they're buying computers and they're used to wearing headsets. And it's just completely, society has kind of changed all that stuff,
Did you ever play online poker?
Oh yeah.
Where'd you play?
I think it was Poker Stars.
Poker Stars.
Oh wait, Poker Stars and
so like pre-Black Friday, like the late 2000s. Yeah, Bovada.
Bovada, yeah. I think that was.
Bovada would have been after 2010 probably.
Okay.
And Poker Stars pre-2010.
Yeah, it was probably started with Poker Stars.
Yeah.
I was never very good.
Yeah, I mean, neither were any of us. If I could go back in time, I could make so much money back then. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, I look forward to seeing another virtuoso performance on the show today.
I hope so too.
You're a fourth quarter player, right? So just save it for the end.
Save it for the end. I usually come out and I'm like bluff, bully, bully, and then I'm down, and then I'm like, okay, time to focus up. Let me play some poker, and then turned out well in the fourth inning.
Do you think that variance is a big thing in esports too? People don't talk about that a lot because everyone says it's a kind of a predetermined thing, and but there's a lot of variance. And you watch some of the highest level esports, there's these little micro edges. People get back and forth and things, and you might play great, but you still lose, right? Because that's going to happen sometimes.
I mean, the way that we train our players is that you want to maintain a certain consistency with your mental as you win and lose. So let's say you go into a game and you have a stellar performance, but you've got another game the next day. If you start to rejoice and feel really good about that win, even though it felt really great, and you try to exhibit those emotions, you're telling yourself, I need to feel this way whenever I win and things go great. Well, the inverse will also be true. And that means that when you have a worse game, you're emotionally going to go to that point as well. So it's like better to go in and say, yes, I feel great right now, but let me exhibit my behaviors in a way that is more flat so that I can go into the next game. And there's not this expectation that I have to celebrate with my teammates and high fives and hugs and all that. We'll wait until we get to the final game, the world championship, to really rejoice. And I think we've seen that takes out some of that expectation of or fear of failure, expectation to win, and it is a more balanced approach, and it helps their mental as they go from game to game. I don't know if that works the same way in poker.
Oh, no, it does. I was just going to say some of the best advice that I ever got in poker. I was asking my friend, my poker mentor, how I can stop from getting so tilted and upset. And he said, here's what you do. Don't celebrate when you win. As he said, because when you celebrate when you win, it trains your brain that after a poker hand, you get this chemical and it feels so good. And now when you don't get that, it feels so much worse, right? Because and so by not celebrating our victories in poker, it keeps us in the gray zone for losing, and it's hard. The human brain struggles with these things.
You have to be conscious and disciplined in the control of your emotions, because you can't say, no, I won't be happy. Of course you're going to feel happy.
Right.
But the way you exhibit that can be controlled.
But you rarely see a professional poker player jump up and do that, right? It's always the amateur guys that are doing that, right? The pro guys, think about Phil Ivey, Garrett, the guys that are
they're stoic.
They're stoic, exactly, because they've trained themselves. They're not celebrating. These are expected results. Getting a one outed, that's an expected result. That's going to happen. And so it keeps you right there. Anyways, I think that's about it. Thank you so much for coming on the pregame show. What is the plan for the game today? Do you have a plan? I won't tell anyone. I promise.
I'm definitely going to just play my style, which is I tend to have like a 40 to 50% VPIP. I like playing a lot of hands.
Playing. Yeah.
I like playing. I think, I don't like to just play certain hands. I like to have more experience, win or lose, just play more hands. I like that, so I'll definitely be doing that. I'll try to get some bluffs through.
Good.
And I'll be playing every 2-7 hand, just for the lulz.
You have to play every 2-7 hand. And if there's a raise in front of you and I see you fold a 7 deuce hand, I'm going to hate on that.
I'm going to 3-bet it.
Okay.
It depends on the sizing. I got to figure the sizing out. 4-betting is a little crazy. But maybe I'll have 2 live cards. We'll see.
You always have 2 cards. That's the thing.
I don't know about live cards, but you always have 2.
But they're there. Deuce 7 can win. It's interesting. Out in esports, you use the term meta a lot, like the meta. There's been a meta developing on the 7 deuce game, because in the early stages of the meta, when we first introduced it, everyone was just raising really big because it's like, oh, I should just raise huge. But then they started to realize, wait a second, if I just call this raise, right, for me, the pot is $800 bigger than for everyone else. So I'm getting like an insane price here, right? And I'm getting the right odds to actually see a flop and hit, because for me, for everyone else, it's only a couple $100. For me, it's over 1,000,
exactly.
And so it's interesting.
That is really
But you go with your style, the raising. I like that better.
I played this game the other day. It was the first time I've ever played it. It's called the Squid Game. Have you heard of this?
Oh, I have. Remind me. Yeah,
I played it at the Aria in Vegas, and basically it's like the stand-up game where
it's just like the stand-up game.
It's the same exact thing. Except you get a squid token, and then the last person has to pay. And the punishment was. It was 3 times the big blind to every person at the table.
Wow.
Yeah. And then to figure out. Oh no, I'm sorry.
Wait, no, that's not even that much.
No. Sorry. It was whatever the middle card on the next flop was.
Right.
Times the big blind. And so you could go as high as 10.
Yeah.
And I remember the table I was playing at. I think the penalty was like $4,500 or something, and it was like. It was a lot of fun.
You're playing a big game.
It was a big game. Yeah.
How big? You don't have to mention, but do you play games much bigger than this game with your esports people?
Yes.
And are we ever going to be able to make that game happen here? Because I have top working on this.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of crossover with poker and esports.
We're going to do an esports
community.
night.
There's a big community of poker players within esports. So. Yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun. You know, it's just the whole aspect of live and what have you. But I
It would
think
be so fun.
I think it would be a lot of fun.
Get a couple competing orgs. You know,
that spices it up.
Tafo told me about you have a rivalry. Who's it with in poker?
Andy. Runs TSM.
Runs TSM.
He plays a little bit of poker too, and he's a good poker player. I'll tell you what. Yeah.
You're just saying that to boost his ego.
I think he's taken me down like the last 4 or 5 times I've played. So
you're realistic.
I'm realistic.
Fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyway, thank you so much for coming on. It was a real pleasure, and good luck today.
I appreciate that.
Go
Thank you
get
so
him.
much,
Bring
man.
the pain.
I'll bring the pain. Don't worry about that.
Okay. So next, we're going to have something very special for you guys. This is something that we are going to be doing every Monday on the pregame show. We're going to do the HCL recap of the previous week. And this is going to be our first time doing it. Steve, you can stay here if you want, or you can go.
No, you tell me what to do. I wasn't sure. You gotta just tell me. Get the fuck out of here.
He's a lingerer. This guy, he's lingering.
Bye, everybody.
Nice seeing you, Steve. So we're going to do the HCL recap, and what it is we're going to be going through all the shows from the previous week and what happened on them, and it's going to be an evolving process for you guys. This is going to be the first one, and I hope you enjoy it. Ryan, let's go. Can you switch between them, Ryan, or no? All right, you know what? Let's go let's go $2. Let's go 2. Here we go. The week started off with a banger. Max Payne Monday saw the likes of DJ Washburn, Poker Bunny, Jamie LaFay, and Israeli Ron join our regular crew of donkeys and degens. Minus Sashimi. She was sick, and the chat pros missed her. Luckily, she's feeling better. Here's how it went down. DJAF and DK went heads up in a huge pot. DJAF had 5-3 and DK had 7 deuce. No surprise. Problem for DK was DJAF flopped 3 of a kind. Then, how about quads on the turn? But the big brain move of the hand came from DJAF on the river. He checked to DK, and DK fell for it.
Wow, DJF, if he fails as a poker player, he definitely has a career in acting.
Do you want me to call Danny?
DK's just not even giving him the dignification of a response.
Fuck it.
Oh, the old fuck it call.
Caught?
Yes.
7 deuce. No good, man.
The punt of the night came from 6 feet under, a newcomer to the show. He had been playing tight ABC poker all night, but then decided to raise preflop with King-6 offsuit. He got called 3 ways. The turn came the 10 of spades, giving Iron a gutter to a royal flush. And here comes the river. Are you guys ready for this? The King of Spades, Israeli Ron, hits the royal. 6 feet under now had a king, so he bets out again and gets raised by Israeli Ron. He tanks for a little and then makes the call. But good for you, Ron, getting paid on your royal. How about that? After that, we had the most memorable hand for many a chat pro. Next, it was Poker Bunny versus Sia, and Poker Bunny flopped a set.
Oh no.
But Poker Bunny jammed on the river anyhow, even though Sia had her set of kings.
No, I need. She raised me on the flop.
Oh, she raised you on the flop?
Yeah.
She had a set.
Or maybe a combo draw or.
Sorry, you're right.
Let's take a look at the final chip counts. DJF, the big winner. Israeli Ron, the big loser. Tuesday night saw the return of Rampage to Hustler Casino Live. He'd face off against anti-game regulars J-Bugs, Ronnie, Vertucci, Francisco, Eli, Mayhem, and to everyone's surprise, Mars. That's right, Mars, the high-stakes superstar himself, playing in his first Annie game. There was a buzz in the air about this one. It was going to be special. Let's go. Mars made his presence felt all night, V-pipping at the Keating line, 70%. It's like the man is from another planet, maybe Jupiter. Here, Mars doing Mars things. 4 bets, ace-king suited, gets all-inned by Big John, and then J-Bugs tanked for a couple of minutes. He's thinking more before deciding to shove all in for 35K with pocket queens. Mars made the call and they decided to run it twice. The first run out. Flop looked good for J Boogie. He doesn't look comfortable though, does he? The turn, the 4 of hearts. Jeremy has to dodge a 2 or a heart.
There's the flush from Mars.
You just notice now?
Oh God, here comes the doom zoom. You still have another run out, but you need to fade the ace or king.
You realize you had hearts?
I saw 2 hearts. Damn.
Here comes run out number 2. Deja vu. 1 heart on the flop. No way it happens again, right? Right? Wait, right? I'm starting to freak out right now. I don't even know.
Do not put an ace, king, or heart out there if you know what's good for you, Lauren.
Okay.
She doesn't.
Give me a heart attack, Lauren. Jesus Christ.
Lauren.
But the pain wasn't over for J-Bugs. The last hand of the show, he tried to put his foot down against Rampage. Problem was, Rampage had 3 of a kind.
Out of position, we'll send it all in. There it is.
Fuck. In the 10? Fucking bullshit. So stupid. Why'd I do that?
Is it weird that Jeremy's pain makes me feel better about my life? The hand of the night was the clash of the titans everyone wanted. It's Mars versus Rampage. Rampage played his queens tricky. Just called pre-flop and found himself in a 4-way pot with a bunch of trash. Mars flopped a pair and a flush draw, and fireworks ensued. Bet, raise, call on the flop. Bet, call on the turn, and the river, it bricks out. And Mars did what he does best, fires pot. Rampage tanks for almost 3 minutes.
Called the night. Instead, Mars just smirks and looks at him. Yikes. I hate to say it, but welcome to the big leagues, kid.
Rampage. You have
almost passed the test.
Overpair. Yeah. You get overpair? Yeah, overpair.
I think Mars has Jack 10.
Jack 9.
Jack 9?
Diamond.
That's what he had in his mind. That's what he's representing.
You don't have nothing.
Mars must be from Uranus because he owned Rampage's ass. Here's a look at the final scoreboard. Next up, Alec Torelli joined the Try Hard Wednesday crew for some 25, 50, 100. And shit went down. Some out-of-line play right away. I love it. Dahl raised it up to 600. 800 make that with ace-3 off. And King Henry called with ace-3 suited. Flop comes ace-high with 2 clubs. And Dahl bets a little over half pot. King Henry had other plans. He raises it up to 2,300, putting pressure on Dahl. A brick comes on the turn, and King Henry makes a royal decree. He's not backing down. He fires again, putting even more pressure on Dahl. But Dahl reaches deep, makes the call. Then offsuit 8 hits on the river, and King Henry opts to play it safe. He checks, And of course, Dahl is happy AF to check back. He scoops a nice one. Come on, Henry, you gotta fire. Torelli got involved in a big pot against Vertucci and Brown Balla. Torelli calls the flop with just a gutter ball. But oh man, he binks it on the turn. What a dream spot for Torelli. Both of his opponents had 2 pair. And it goes bet, call, before Torelli shoves it all into the middle. I love it. Vertucci makes the call. And Brown Balla makes a disciplined fold. I like this fold by Brown Balla. Look at how happy Brown Balla is right here when he sees a Torelli table his hand. Meanwhile, Vertucci is sweating bullets. He needs to fill up on the river. They decide to run it twice. Let's watch this. And Torelli holds on both, scooping a $60,000 pot. Vertucci waited until the last 30 minutes in the show to exact his revenge. He 4-bet shoved all in with ace-5 suited. The problem here was his 2 opponents were holding aces and queens. Fold of the night right here goes to Dahl. And I'm guessing that he was way more afraid of Vertucci. Nick then, he's the tightest player at the table, and he tried to capitalize. I think he just picked the wrong time. The fact that Dahl folded queens shows that this should have worked, just not today. They ran it twice, and Torelli holds on both runouts. Nick is sent packing. Let's look at the final score. Mike X, the big winner. Torelli finishes in the black thanks to those 2 big hands from Vertucci. Not bad. The Thursday saw Christian Soto make his first appearance on the show, and it was a stacked lineup. Francisco, Pepe, Mars, and of course, the man with arms as big as my legs, Mariano. Pepe has quickly become a chat favorite. He has style, he plays any 2 cards, and he hates folding. Here he is winning a pot with 9-7 offsuit, and of course, his patented chip on the forehead.
Hey, what is going on? They're both like, nobody can have these now. Mike.
Oh, shit.
Sure.
He keeps calling Nick Mike.
I'll take one, yeah. Let me have one. Nick.
Same thing. Mike Gucci.
The quintessential Texas Hold'em cooler here. Aces versus kings. But it's interesting, Dahl decides to go with the massive 4-bet all in. And Francisco calls. They decide to run it 1 time.
It's a 3-to-1 dog instead of a 4-to-1
diamond.
Dog. King of diamonds would be a misdeal.
Give me space, I mean.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
What a pro move.
Francisco the pro scoops a $60,000 pot. Max Payne for Dahl. But he took it with a smile, as he always does. How about some more Psycho Mars? Do we want some more Psycho Mars? Yes, please. I want more Psycho Mars. This call is absolute insanity. This guy is from outer space. I love it.
One time. You have a pair? I have a pair. That's my hand.
Nick punted it off with ace-5 suited last night. Mars paying homage. It's not a great flop for the ace-5 of clubs.
No club?
Need an ace, and then you need to dodge. Well, I guess you can catch another 5 or an ace. Otherwise, Francisco gets even richer.
That's life. That's what
Nice hand.
people.
Pepe wasn't only impressing chat, he also found a huge fan in the booth.
Gives him the money. Oh, the slow roll. Good for you, Pepe. Good for you.
Can I get one more, please?
Pepe in the zone. I think he's calling Nick Mike. That makes it even better.
Wow. I thought
He went like this. That was poker perfection.
Lucky. Mariano. Christian will buy that off you.
Someone in the chat says, who is Pepe? Shut up. Just shut up. Don't ask that question.
All right, let's take a look at the cumulative winnings. Francisco books an $88,000 win. Pepe, Will, and Mariano all booked nice wins also. Good for them. All right, finally, we have the game of the week. Hands down, the best Friday we've seen this year. I know that's not saying a lot because it's January, but trust me, this game was fire. Don't believe me? How about this lineup? JR, Bill Klein, Double M, Mike X, Nick Airball, Prince Charles, Dustin, and of course, the man everyone came to see, mother effing Rampage. He showed up with $500,000 ready to gamble. Would his tournament binks translate to success against the Psychos? Bill Klein had been up to no good all night. So when Mike X woke up with aces, he knew what to do. He threw in a 4-bet and got called and found a 10-high flop. A decent flop for aces. The problem for him was Mr. Klein, who was up and down with a flush draw. He let out for 20K and then the turn came. And I'll leave it to Christian Soto.
Nut.
Mike X checked and Bill bet 42,000.
But Bill's been up to no good all night. How can you just give him credit for a straight?
Mike X called and on to the river. The wettest card in the deck, the Jack of Diamonds. There's now 2 one-liners to a straight and the backdoor flush. Can Mike X get away?
He calls. Mike calls. Snapped it.
No, he cannot get away. Rampage had his share of big moments, starting with this incredible bluff against JR. This is unreal. With just a king high on the river, Rampage slammed his foot on the gas and bet 120,000. And got JR to fold top. What a hand. And I love that he showed it. What a baller. Next, Rampage woke up with Anna Kournikova, made the 3-bet and got called by Airball holding 4 deuce. Rampage got one of the best flops he could hope for. And watch this. Airball raises to 9K with his gutter. Like, what is he even doing? This shit is bananas. B-A-N-A-S. The craziest part is the turn. Airball binks it. How can Rampage get away from this hand?
130,000 overbet. Almost 2x pop from Nick Airball. Rampage with top pair, top kick.
Unsurprisingly, Airball couldn't keep his mouth shut, and it didn't do him any favors.
Card or a flush card? Then I can't show you a card, right? It's like not fair to me.
I think King would have been over by now.
I don't know you have. Like, I'm just trying to help. All right, never mind.
Okay.
I think that was like pretty generous. Is this the biggest bet you faced? No, right?
I'm not sure. But
I guess like the EV and the poker.
I think you're talking me into a call, so I was already gonna fold.
You can pick one.
Rampage with the good fold. Says the table banter convinced him.
Who's 4, of course.
Great fold, Rampage.
Ben decided to 4-bet Rampage with Justin Timberlake, and Rampage made the call. It looked like Rampage could get away after the flop.
Oh, 3 jacks for a blank check.
But it went check, and Ben set the trap nicely.
Call this bet. He does. He's gonna need a king. Half pot. Says blank check. He calls. Pot 333,000 going to blank check Ben. My goodness.
And now let's take a look at the final scoreboard of the week. Sadly, Ram Punts just couldn't make it through the whole stream without living up to his name. But what an exciting week this was at Hustler Casino Live. And Rampage being here on Friday was just the exclamation point on a huge week. And it was just so fun. We had a great time. This was the first HCL review of a week that we're going to do. This is going to be a weekly thing every Monday. We look forward to getting your guys' feedback, what we could improve, how it could work better. We love you, chat pros. Thank you so much. And yeah, it's Max Payne Monday. We are going to be here. Sorry, I'm being talked to in my ear. So we have, okay, how long do we have, Ryan? All right, 7 or 8 minutes. So let's talk about the lineup for today. Ryan, can you put the lineup up? It's a great lineup. You'll notice Sashimi's back. I know that it's not that she's sick, but she might be a little bit under the weather, which, you know, the lingering illness kind of, not exactly sick, but she's past being sick. Obviously, she's not sick. We're not letting her be sick at the table. But she told me that she's just kind of, you know, she's feeling tired. And sometimes what I told her was, sometimes when you're feeling like that, you actually play your best poker because you're not overthinking things. You're relaxed. You're just going with the flow. And so I think sometimes that can be a secret ingredient. And I actually think it might work well for Sashimi. She'll just be in the moment and just kind of go with the flow. Obviously, I'm most excited about DQ being here because that is the nuts. DQ is the godfather of Max Payne. And without him, there would be no Max Payne Monday. And when we made the name, we didn't even know that. It was just suggested by a chatter. But now that we've embodied the Max Payne spirit, and we know that it was a gift from this man, I am so happy to see him on the show. And I hope that he has a winning session. DJF, you know he's gonna be going crazy. I don't need to tell you guys that. Mike Matisow is the one who I wonder about. And we had that really nice interview to open up the show. And I like the guy, to be honest. What I wonder is how much he's gonna get into the Max Payne Monday spirit. That's my only question, is he really gonna dive all in with the Max Payne Monday spirit? You know what he told me? That he's never slow rolled somebody in his poker career. He's never slow rolled somebody. That's disappointing to me. How is that even possible? To have played as much poker as this guy for tens of thousands of hours of poker and never slow rolled somebody? I don't know. I don't know if I fully buy it, but hopefully, I said, well, I want to see one today. Just give me a slow roll. It doesn't have to be the perfect hand. Just do it. Give me something, right? Needling, I know he'll be fine with. He's good with needles. I look forward to hearing the Mike Matisow needles. When I think about learning poker in the early 2000s, I think about being with my dad, sitting on the couch, watching ESPN poker and seeing Mike Matisow on the screen. You know, he was one of the first characters. ESPN really cast him well, I think, as the mouth. And he's so iconic, and it's just so cool to have him on the show. And I look forward to hearing from you guys, because this has been a really fun experience. I can't wait. So this is being recorded before the live portion of the show. So I won't know exactly what the response will be in chat. I may be in the chat right now while you guys are watching this, interacting with you, because this is recorded right before the live portion. But our whole video production team is really excited about all of the things we have coming. Obviously, the HCL reviews, you know, the TikToks that we're launching, the new intro, which was supposed to premiere today, but we put that off for a day because of all this other stuff that we were working on. There's just a lot of stuff in the tank, and Ryan Feldman is awesome for allowing us to get more help and produce content at the level that Hustler Casino Live deserves, honestly, because you know, Ryan tells me a lot. He says he wants this to be the ESPN of poker. And you guys are here with us on this journey where we're marching towards that. And we're getting better every day. And we're getting closer to that goal every day. And think about where we were a year ago compared to now. And think about where we'll be in a year, in 2 years. So, cheers to you guys for being here with us. And this next year is going to be really fun. We're going to the moon. Ryan? Yeah. Love you guys.
Chat pro, slow roll, never fold. Raise it up. Chat pro, slow roll, never fold.
Raise it up. Chat pro, slow roll, never fold. Slow roll, never fold. Slow roll, never fold.
Raise it up. Raise it up. Chat pro.
Am I on? Or what are we doing? All right. Wait, I'm not on right now, am I? Okay, I can use the bathroom really fast. Okay, all right. All right. All right, DQ, get in the seat. We're gonna start in 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, I'm ready.
All right. Good. And we'll talk about your chair. So we're gonna have to go a little long because we started late, ended early.
No problem.
Yeah.